Don't forget to love yourself during the process. So this might be an understatement, and it's probably stating the obvious as well, but I had a realization yesterday that it is so important during a period of progress, well, any point in your life really, but especially at a point where you're facing difficulty, you're facing daily challenges, you have goals that you're going after, you have achievements that you're trying to level up to. And most importantly, you're trying to manifest a better future for yourself. You're trying to create this great idealistic future and lifestyle for yourself. And it's absolutely attainable. But one of the things that I didn't put enough stock into, even though it's a very obvious thing, is how much the power of loving yourself comes into play. Now, to be specific with you, as I've said in the past, I've lost my job recently. I lost a girlfriend recently, and sitting there thinking about how I'm going to get these things back. How am I going to shift my focus when I'm in such a negative, beat down, defeated state to getting myself to the point where I'm creating this reality for myself. Now, obviously, as I've explained before, I'm not the type of person who believes that you just put your mind to it and things just start happening. Okay, I'm very aware of the fact that to be able to create, to be able to manifest, and we'll call it manifest, but really what it is keeping your eye on the prize, right? So to be able to do that, you need to not only have a very specific goal in mind, but you also need to be able to put action into effort. Like, it's got to be a daily thing too. There is no sit back and just make zero effort whatsoever and expect that everything's going to fall into place just because you want it bad enough. Wanting it is half the battle. The second part, the big part, is actually going into action, doing something, putting forth effort, giving this idea, this reality that you crave, energy so that it can become an experience in your life. So yesterday, as I'm sitting there meditating in the morning, thinking about things that I want, this person that I want, instead of this, because we all talk about how, we talk about the keeping a positive outlook, focusing on the positivity, but we know how difficult that is, right? In meditation, you think in the present tense. You don't think in the future tense. You think, I don't want this, I have this, and that's how you create this. But at the same time, there's got to be some level of acceptance in the current reality. So you might say, I want this person, I love this person, and you might actually say to yourself even further, because we're talking present tense, this person and I love each other very much, this person and I want each other very much, or my business is going to take off. You switch from that to my business is taking off. It's amazing. It's doing fantastic. But we all know that it's one thing to think this, and it's another thing to finish up with that meditation session and kind of come back to reality and think, I really hope this works. I really hope me putting this energy into this is going to work. If I sit there and I meditate on seeing my first sale come through, getting a text from that person, seeing money start showing up in my bank account, it's great. It's very idealistic. But at the same time, there's the more pragmatic side of us that as soon as we're done with that meditation, sits there and thinks, is this going to work? So we immediately go into resistance, okay? And so yesterday, this is just my own personal experience. I'm at a point right now where the person that I have been broken up with, we're just not talking. We're taking space, and that's absolutely fine with me. But I was resisting it, just like I resist a lot of things. As much as I want things, as much as I'm trying to fight for them and will them into the existence. And it's not just relationship, but it's business, it's money, it's relationships with people, it's scenarios and situations occurring in my daily life. As much as I want those things, I still resist them because there's some voice in my head, that stupid ego that we have, that comes back after the session. It's almost like the buddy that you have or the friend that you have that's sitting there laughing like, oh man, I sure hope this works for you, you know. But if you believe enough, those voices don't matter. So to get to the point, the story that I'm trying to share is having a lot of thoughts yesterday morning about this relationship that I had lost recently, and it's painful. It's devastating to me because of how much that I know that I want this on a molecular level. But sometimes you just can't fight things. You can't resist things, because the more resistance, the more fight you give it, the more it runs away from you. So at some point you have to kind of accept. And yesterday, a thought in my head had hit that point where it accepted the situation. Not only did it accept the situation, but it agreed with the situation. And I instantly, in this moment of clarity, because when it's fresh, when it's happening, when you're trying to create that business, when you're trying to hold on to that relationship, when you're trying to fight for a job that doesn't want you anymore, the universe is trying to help you. It's trying to usher you out so that you can welcome in new. And it doesn't mean welcome in a new person. It could mean just welcome that person back in with a changed mentality. But I had this moment of clarity where I said to myself, I understand this, and even if I don't understand this, it doesn't matter, because I know where my heart is. I know that I love this individual, and that I know that I want this, even if this person is not ready for this right now. And so yes, some people say during the no contact phase, if you want to call it a no contact phase, personally I believe that no contact is always used in a very, I don't want to say manipulative way, but it's used for the wrong purpose. When people talk about no contact, they talk about no contact in the context of how to attract back an ex. I don't think no contact is all about that. I think no contact is you're just calling it what it is, and you're separating your energies so that you can focus on you and they can focus on them. And if that's enough time happens, enough time occurs between this separation where you start to develop feelings, or where hostile energy comes down, or where the anxiety, the nervousness, the worry, the concern, the frustration, the smothering, whatever it is in the relationship that caused it to end, or whatever it was in your job that caused you to lose it, when those feelings, those resistant feelings start to come down, then and only then you can start to see the bigger picture. And not only can you see the bigger picture, but you can welcome the bigger picture with open arms. So in this moment yesterday that I had, I thought to myself, well, not only do I love this individual, but I support what this individual wants, because if they want what's best for them, then that means they want what's best for us. And if they want what's best for us, it's going to work out. Because people don't want to be in a relationship in the wrong state of mind. If you are with somebody who loves you, and they want time away from you so they can work on themselves, that just means that they're doing it for the sake of the relationship. And that is enough to welcome that scenario with love. Especially if what you're doing in that moment is focusing on other things, it doesn't make a difference whether you give them time or not, right? Just give them time, let them do their thing, and you focus on what you need to focus on. So I did reach out to this person. I did tell them that I understood it, and that I'll give them what time they need, because as far as I see the situation going, I am fine with it. If they need to take time, they take time. If they need a little bit of alone time to work on their things, they need to take that time and work on themselves, because in the long run, I would rather get through this now and sort out whatever issues we have, so that way we can go forward into the future without ever having to look back on this time. But sometimes you need to let things go to be able to come back to it stronger. So I reached out to this person. I texted them that. Of course, I made it clear that there was no expectation to write me back. I just said, you don't need to respond to this. I just wanted to say this. And they did respond in a very loving way, in a very reassuring way. Even though it didn't resolve anything in the moment, nothing changed, but it was that energy instantly. I could feel that energy instantly change within me. It was an energy of absolute love for the situation, love for that person, love for myself, love for, thank goodness we're in this situation, because we are not going forward with issues, with this bag of issues, but we're going forward and getting things out of the way now. Now you can carry this energy in almost anything you do. You can carry it with a job. You know, the same thing was happening with my business as I'm standing there making call after call after call last Friday. It's exhausting. It's discouraging, you know, going from being a person who has no experience in cold calling to suddenly this is the best chance I have to grow this business. You know, there's a lot of challenges, and most of those challenges are mental and they're obstacles, and it's a very intimidating thing to get out there and start cold calling, talking to businesses, because you need to look at yourself in a very honest way and say, what am I doing? Do I know what I'm doing? Did I know what I'm doing on that call? I didn't seem to know what I was doing on that call, but maybe on the next call I try this, and oh, maybe that didn't work, so on the next call I need to try that. And I'm constantly taking notes and revising the notes, like, okay, do this next time, control the pitch of your voice next time, maybe be more direct about what question you're asking next time, maybe instead of talking to this person, ask to speak to someone who's in charge of this next time. So I'm walking into this process terrified, nerve-wracked, just beaten down, but fully understanding that it's me and my acceptance of the situation that's going to continue to propel things forward. And so even though it was discouraging, even though I sat there and made call after call after call, and you know, out of 41 calls that morning, only 3 people ended up having some kind of remote interest. Now that doesn't mean that they're closes, they're just remote interest, so that means follow-up. But at the same time, as I'm doing these and as I'm experiencing the stress of the situation and feeling overwhelmed because I'm not a salesman, but now I need to be a salesman, that's the only way this thing's going to go forward, I'm also telling myself in these moments of frustration and stress and everything else, you've got this. You're doing it. You're calling. You are making it happen. It's not always going to go your way. Sales is a game of numbers. You might need to make 1,000 calls just to be able to get 25 new customers. That's just the reality of it. It is volume. It is strict volume. Any salesperson you talk to will tell you that. It is a game of numbers. You know, last year I interviewed somebody for my business as a potential salesperson who worked for this software company that I use all the time now. They worked for this software company before this software company became big. And this software company, I can't imagine being organized in certain projects. It's a project management tool, but I can't imagine being as organized as I am in certain projects without using this tool. And so I asked her when she was a salesman for that software, I said, now, how was it? Did you have a good experience selling that? Was it difficult? And she said, yeah, sure, there was a lot of no's, but there was also yeses. And that is hope right there, because I look at this product and I think, man, I couldn't live without it. This product is amazing. And this person was saying, yeah, there was a lot of no's. You know, I have a friend who also owns a business here in the city that I live in. And the business is doing well now. You know, I think they're averaging somewhere around 10 million gross a year. But this person, when I was talking to him before, I said, man, it's difficult facing the no's. It's difficult trying to sell a product and facing the no's. And he said, we still get no's all the time. All the time. And that's a difficult thing to process, but it's also easy to understand that you just have to understand sometimes the process, you have to appreciate it for what it's for. And unfortunately, the reality of a situation, be it growing your business through doing the sales yourself, growing your relationship by learning that you need to take a step back to be able to let it grow and certain things to heal, it's an important part of the process. And the best way to deal with those moments of acceptance is to understand that self-appreciation is huge in that part. Because if you don't talk to yourself and you don't affirm with yourself that, hey, I might not be the best at sales, but I'm doing it. Hey, I might not have the relationship that I want right now, but I'm giving it what it needs. I'm doing the best thing that I can do for it right now, which is give it love, feed it love from afar. Let that person have the time to sort out their thoughts. Let them have that time to process and regroup so that you can come back together. Because if you're putting in the work and you're putting in the appreciation and you're giving things space, but you're still moving forward in your mind, things are still moving forward, you appreciate the situation, it's going to work out in the end. Okay, and believe me, I expect in several months to be reporting the business is doing great. My relationship is the best relationship of my life. Like, I cannot wait to report these things, but I know that in the moment I need to have a certain mindset with them. And a large part of that mindset is love and appreciation for myself. It's to be able to feed yourself positivity. So having said that, I've also decided to try to stay away from social media, by any means, because I find that social media oftentimes feeds a lot of negativity into people. We just get into these wormholes of video after video after video, and some are funny, I will give you that, but a lot of them are also very negative. They're just people complaining. They're just people feeding and spewing out negativity. They're videos of people getting hurt, of people fighting, of just a very raw lifestyle. And that's a stressful thing to watch, because even though you might not realize it in the moment, it's taking away from your energy. So I cut out the social media. I cut out news. I don't read the news. Just strictly focused on the things that I want to happen. I'm almost, as you could say, in my own bubble. But being in my own bubble, I know what I want. I know what I'm going for. And more importantly, I'm loving myself in the process. And I realize it's not an easy thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do, to stay positive, especially when you do finish meditating, you do finish concentrating on something. A large part of your brain is saying, is this going to work? Like, you don't really expect that they're going to text you right now, or you don't really think that money's just going to start showing up, do you? What I think is it doesn't matter. I think just keep going forward, stay positive, stay on track, don't stop trying. Don't stop trying. And, saying this in the relationship context, that doesn't mean keep texting that person, keep bothering that person to tell them I love you and I understand that this is what we need. Don't do that. Get your information out once and just let it ride. Meditate on what you want, growing the business, money coming in, opportunities coming your way. Project it out and respect the process. Let it happen. Feed it love. Feed yourself love. It's important. And when you do have these times of clarity where things start to make sense, you will literally feel your energy change. I felt like after that text exchange yesterday, which was a simple couple of texts, it wasn't a back and forth, it was a message. And after that, I just felt like this light growing from inside of me, and it was just warm and it was just projecting. And I fully expect that person felt that light from within me in that moment, because it changed from being resistance to love. And this is what I'm here to give you, and this is what's best for us. This is what I'm here to give my business, and this is what's best for it. This is what I'm here to give future opportunity to welcome things into my life, and I welcome it in love. So yes, at the end of the day, love yourself, appreciate yourself. Don't stop practicing self-appreciation, self-love. Remind yourself that you're doing so much to make this happen, and you need to appreciate yourself in those moments. And you will. You'll have moments of clarity, and that will fuel you to keep going. And as we all know, the more you keep fighting, and the longer you keep trying, it's going to happen.